What up? It is Bones, and we have received another list of upcoming McFarlane figures. Now, shout out to my boy Botten who sent this one to me, and I just thought we'd take a look at it and get some thoughts. Now, we do know that usually these lists are about 95% factual and coming to fruition. Now, sometimes not everything comes out, but usually more than likely they do come out. And besides that, we always still get figures that just come out of the blue that are never announced. And so we don't always know what McFarlane is thinking or what he's going to release, but these are upcoming figures that are more than likely going to be released by McFarlane. Now, once again, this just proves what I tell everybody, and that is to just have some patience. Patience is a virtue, my friends, and just let the line do what it's going to do. Mainly because I kind of look at it like movies, right? People always have their complaints or how they would like a movie to come out or what version or what direction they want it to go. But 99 times out of 100, we have no power actually of what the studios do or the decisions they make. And us as the general public just has to either like the film or dislike the film. And that is basically the only power that we have, is that they're going to release what they want to release, and we just can either like it or stay away from it and not even watch it. And that's basically the same thing that happens with the figures. The line is going to be what it's going to be, and we always have the choice to stay away from it or to support it, whatever you'd like to do. All in all, in the end, we are here to collect this line and try and support it as much as we can. Now, some pretty interesting figures that are on this list. They do have a movie wave, they do have a Page Punchers wave, some regular just figures, and also some surprises that we'll try and figure out what it's actually going to be. Now let's go ahead and start off with the just regular random figures. These are all going to be 7-inch. Now, first off, we do have Sinestro from the Sinestro Corps War. Now, that is pretty interesting because a couple of videos ago, I told everybody that more than likely Sinestro would be coming up. Now, we don't exactly know what style of body or what it's going to look like, but if you look up on DC Comics, you basically know that it's more than likely going to be a kind of traditional version of Sinestro. But the one good thing we could take away from it is that we will be getting our first Sinestro figure, adding to the Yellow Lanterns, which now I remember that's where it was when they showed the Yellow Lantern Batman. I said that more than likely now we'll be getting the Sinestro. So pretty cool. I'm interested to check that one out. Up next, we do have Hawkman from 0 Hour. It will not probably be a traditional Hawkman, which I know everybody wants. This version of Hawkman seems to have a little bit of a different costume, a little bit more covered up than what we normally see in Hawkman. Or we never know what version we're actually going to get, so it's up in the air, but we will be getting a Hawkman based on the 0 Hour storyline. So that's another one that a lot of people will be interested to check out. Now, coming up next, one that I know a lot of people are really happy to hear, and that's going to be Firestorm from Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now, this means that more than likely this is going to be our classic version of Firestorm. Now, as always, we don't exactly know how exactly it's going to be executed, but more than likely it's going to be a costume more geared to what everybody would like to see from Firestorm. So that's one that I'm pretty excited to check out. So that's another one that we could add to our, traditional classic versions of characters. Now, this next one's kind of weird because it doesn't actually say anything except for DC Collectors. So that may be the new collector line from McFarlane, but it is a 2-pack. Interestingly enough, there is reference for this, and if you look it up in the comics, there is Batman Beyond versus Justice Lord Superman. Now, once again, we're not exactly sure what versions these will be, but it is on the list, so more than likely. And that's going to be one of Batman Beyond and one of the Justice Lord Superman, which usually has that pretty cool white and black with red costume that I've always been a big fan of. So it's another cool one that we might end up getting in our collections. And finally, for the first time, we're going to have a Mega Fig 2-pack. This one sounds pretty interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what versions they go with. Now it's going to be a Superman versus Doomsday 2-pack. As far as I could figure, it's going to be probably the traditional size of the 2-pack. Just going to take up more of the package space than traditionally the two figures take up. Will it come with a base? Probably. Is it going to be based off of the Devastator that we received from McFarlane before? Hopefully not. Hopefully it's a brand new, bigger sized figure. That is why it is in the Mega Fig section. But probably the Superman will be your standard 7-inch figure. But this is one that, it is a gold label, so we're not sure if it's going to be an exclusive, but it is going to be very sought after, especially if it is what we're expecting from McFarlane to bring to the game, which is going to be an awesome Doomsday Mega Fig. Now up next we have another Page Punchers wave. I think it said wave 5, and it's going to be a Superman wave. Now we do know that these are usually new versions, but sometimes more of a classic style. It just depends what the artwork is. We did have the Flash one, the Black Adam one, the Aquaman one, then that newer caveman style one, and this is going to be a comic book version based on Superman. Now you do have just your regular standard Superman, so who knows what that'll be. Then you have your Brainiac, which is going to be pretty cool. Brainiac has so many different iterations. We're not sure if it's going to be that more like skeletonized look or that kind of like brawny Brainiac style. Who knows? But we will be getting a Brainiac. Then we're going to have an Earth 2 Superman. Now, once again, this could be different versions of Earth 2 Superman. We don't know which one they're going to pick. I think there's even a black skin version. There's like that older Superman version. Different versions that could actually be what we receive in this wave. And then bringing it up at the end, we have the Ghost of Zod. Now, we know we did get a figure from McFarlane already from Zod, but we don't know if this, like, what this is going to be. Is it going to be a translucent ghost version of Zod? We're not sure. We'll just have to wait and see. Now they have changed the packaging on these. They're going to be more of that clamshell style version that they have moved on to. But always cool to get new Superman figures, so that's something we'll definitely be looking forward to. And now I saved this one for last because I thought this was pretty interesting. There's going to be another movie wave. Now, we already received the Dark Knight Trilogy wave, and you have to remember that just said Dark Knight Trilogy. We didn't really know what the, collectible figure was going to be. In the end, it was shown that it was Bane, which was awesome. Now, this one, it only shows the names. It doesn't show what the collectible figure will be. So I'm thinking it could either be Mr. Freeze, which would be the Schwarzenegger version, or Bane, which I'm kind of rooting for it to be Bane, even though it is that kind of cartoonish, brainless version that they did for Batman and Robin. But I would still add it to the collection. I'm really happy to see them expanding more into the movie line to get us all the movies that people grew up on. Now, there's also listed a Batman, which is going to be the George Clooney version of Batman. And then you have the Chris O'Donnell version. That's the red trimmed version. And then the Alicia Silverstone Batgirl. Now, they could also come in the different costumes. There was different versions of the costumes in the film. In the end, they had those like silver trimmed versions that were actually pretty sweet. And then the fourth figure from the actual wave is actually going to be Poison Ivy. Now this will be the Uma Thurman style Poison Ivy. We did hear rumors that they were going to do a Poison Ivy, so maybe this is it. Kind of sad about that because everybody wants, a comic version. I mean, if you really can't wait, you could take the body of this figure and just put like a custom comic head on it and make a Poison Ivy. But I'm sure eventually we'll get a comic Poison Ivy, probably from Hush. But it is cool and interesting to get a version from the Batman and Robin film. Hopefully we will eventually get a Batman Forever wave. That would be awesome to get a Val Kilmer, Two-Face, a Riddler, Jim Carrey. So, keep our fingers crossed. We're going to get everything that we desire. So anyways, guys, let's look forward to that. But you guys, keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.
They used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.